Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi, my name is Syabil Akif bin Miskam. My student ID 2021815228, and my group is J4CEC 110-4F1. So this is my mini project ECG263 Soil Laboratory. Firstly, for introduction, soil play the most important role in order to do plantation, transportation, facilities and construction. From time to time, people evolving to become more advanced toward progress and efficient direction. However, due to the settlement of soil, effect from weathering and many more, the strength of soil and the durability become low. Therefore, admixture is needed to increase the strength of soil by using palm oil flame ash or POFA. Eventually, the properties of soil will be affected. The lab activity aims to determine the effect of POFA to the particle density, specific gravity, plastic limit, and liquid limit. Moreover, to determine POFA could increase the soil stabilization. After that, background of study. POFA is one of the admixture that produced from waste product. Other than that, POFA can be used as a partial cement replacement in concrete. Therefore, POFA could increase the stabilization of soil, which is important in construction, especially for foundation as the base of the building. Then, the particle density test of the soil could obtain the specific gravity of soil, while Atterberg limit test can determine the plastic limit and liquid limit of soil. Other than that, soil can be classified based on the moisture content as solid, semi-solid, plastic and liquid based on the water it contains. For the first test, which is particle density test, the apparatus that we use are soils and POFA, vacuum sets, funnel, density bottle with stopper, weighing balance, and distilled water. Then, we go to the procedure of the test. Firstly, the density bottle and stopper were properly cleaned and dry. Then, the dry bottle with the stopper is weighed and the mass was recorded as M1. After that, 20 gram of dry soil and 1.2 gram of POFA, which is 6% of the weight of soil. Then, the sample is poured into the density bottle carefully. The bottle with the soil and stopper was weighed and recorded as M2. More distilled water was poured into the bottle to make it half full. Then, mix it well until the paste becomes homogeneous. The density bottle was placed in vacuum sets for 10 minutes to remove the excess air in the bottle. After that, the density bottle was taken out from the vacuum sets and add more distilled water into the density bottle to fill it up until full without entrapped air bubble. The stopper is placed to close the density bottle. Add more distilled water by using dropper to fill the capillary of the stopper if it is not full. The stopper and bottle are made sure to be clean and dry. The bottle filled with the water and soil sample with the stopper was weighed and recorded as M3. And then, the bottle is empty and cleaned properly. The bottle is then filled entirely with distilled water. Lastly, the stopper was placed on the bottle was wiped dry from the outside. Then, it is weighed and recorded as M4. The bottle is empty again and dry up properly. Next, for the test of liquid limit test by using Atterberg limit test, which is Casa Grande method, the apparatus that we use are POFA, sand, moisture cans, spatula and palette knives, distilled water, growing tool, Casa Grande liquid limit device, glass plate and oven. Then we go to the procedure of the test. Firstly, 300 gram of soil and 80 gram of POFA, which is 6% of the soil weight, was used and placed onto the glass plate. Small amount of distilled water is mixed with the soil until homogeneous and uniform paste. 3 empty moisture cans are weighed and labeled. The liquid limit apparatus is adjusted by checking the height of drop of the cup. The cup should be at least rise 10 mm height from the base. The previous mixed soil is placed into the cup of the liquid limit apparatus. Then, the soil is spread and squeezed to eliminate air pockets. Then, cut a clean straight groove down to the center of the cup by using grooving tool. During the cut, the tool must be perpendicular to the cup. Next, the crank of the apparatus is turned rapidly and then the number of drop is taken. If the number of drop exceeds 50, the entire soil specimen on the glass plate is remixed, and repeat the same step until the number of drops below 50. Then, a sample of soil is taken from edge to edge of the sample using spatula. The sample should include the soil on the both sides of where the groove came into contact. The soil is placed into a moisture can. After that, the moisture cans that contain the soil is weighed. The mass of the soil is recorded and place the can into the oven. Leave the moisture can in the oven for at least 16 hours. The soil remaining in the cup is placed onto the glass plate. The entire soil specimen on the glass plate is remixed. Then, small amount of distilled water is added to increase the water content so that the number of drops required to close the groove decrease. After that, the step is repeated at least 2 additional trials to producing successively lower numbers of drops to close the groove. One of the trials shall be for a closure requiring, which is 30 to 40 drops, one for closure between 20 and 29 drops, and one trial for closure requiring 10 to 90 drops. The water content from each trial is determined by using the same method used in the first laboratory. Next, we go to the plastic limit test. So the apparatus that we use are soils and moisture can. For the procedure of plastic limit test, firstly, an empty moisture can is weighed. Then, the respective weights and moisture cans number is recorded on the datasheets. 20 gram of the original soil sample that have been separated is taken, and the distilled water is added to the soil until the optimum consistency of the soil is achieved, which is when it is rolled, it will not be sticking to the hands. 20 gram of the soil is rolled to form a bowl shape and cut into 2 pieces. Then, each ball that formed is cut into another 4 pieces. The soil is formed into an ellipsoidal mass. The soil is rolled between the palm or the fingers and the glass plate by using sufficient pressure to roll the soil into a thread of uniform diameter. The step continues until some crack appears at the soil. When the diameter of the thread reaches the correct diameter, the thread is broken into several pieces. The pieces are kneaded and reformed into ellipsoidal masses and re-roll them. The step continues until some cracks appears at the soil. The proportion of the crumbled thread are gathered together and the soil is placed into a moisture can. Next, the mass of the moisture can contain the soil is weighed and recorded. The moisture can is placed into the oven and leave it at least 16 hours in the oven. Finding and result. For the soil with 6% of POFA, the result that obtained are: for the particle density, the specific gravity is 2.56. Then, for liquid limit by using Casagrande test, the result is 29%. Then, for plastic limit by using plastic limit test, the result is 11.11%. Then, the result that obtained for the soil without 6% of POFA. For the particle density, the specific gravity that obtained is 2.60, and then for the liquid limit is 25%, and plastic limit is 11.11%. Based on the graph of liquid limit by using Casagrande method, the plasticity index of the soil was obtained by using the formula of liquid limit minus plastic limit. The plasticity index of the soil with POFA and without POFA is 17.89 and 14% respectively. Other than that, for the plasticity chart of the soil, we can classify type of soil with POFA and without POFA. For the soil with POFA, the type of soil is clay with low plasticity, and for the soil without POFA, the type of soil is clay with low plasticity too. Next, we go to the discussion. Based on the experiment of particle density, the result obtained before and after adding POFA was 2.56 and 2.60 respectively. Therefore, POFA could reduce the specific gravity of soil and increase soil stabilization. Moreover, for attribute limit test by using Casagrande method, the liquid limit for soil before and after adding the POFA was 29% and 25% respectively. Then, the plastic limit for both soil before and after adding POFA was 11.11%. After that, the plasticity index can be determined by using formula of plasticity index equal to liquid limit minus plastic limit. The plasticity index for soil before adding POFA is 13.89%. Meanwhile, after adding POFA is 17.89. Therefore, the soil sample is known as clay of slow plasticity. As a result, POFA could increase the durability and stabilization of soil. On the other hand, error may occur during conducting experiments such as human error, instrument error, and natural error. Firstly, human error could happen due to human negligence that may lead to different results of experiment. As example, the weight balance was not set zero before weight the soil. Then, instrument error also may occur, which is faulty on the test specimen. For instance, the drying oven was unable to generate heat at a steady temperature. Moreover, for natural error, because of the surrounding was not suitable. In other words, the weather of the surrounding may affect the moisture content of the soil. Lastly, conclusion. The experiment investigates the impact of POFA on soil properties including particle density, specific gravity, plastic limit, and liquid limit. The results show that POFA can increase soil stabilization. The result research support the hypothesis that POFA can affect specific gravity and liquid limit in soils. However, there may be countermeasures to avoid errors during the experiment. These include carefully measuring soil weight, periodic maintenance of the machine, and conducting the experiment in suitable weather conditions. The test highlights the importance of finding solutions to problems and encourage the world to reduce waste product. So these are some reference that I use to complete the mini project of ECG263. Advantages of mini project for ECG263. Based on my opinion, this mini project have built skills to thinking out of the box. Next, explore new things to improve ourselves. And then, this project have made people be creative in order to overcome the problem. Other than that, it also could improve problem solving ability, and lastly, it is acquiring a practical experience for everybody. So in my conclusion, this mini project have bring so many positive impact to ourselves. That's all from me, and thank you.